We continue this afternoon's press conference. We have head coach Pascal Jansen. If we have any questions, please raise your hand. We'll get started with Roberto.
Pascal, it's been a tough 2 weeks for the team with the injuries. Can you give us an update on what the injuries are to Perea, to Alfonso, and that's the first part of the question.
Alonso, you mean?
Yeah, Alonso.
Yeah, Alonso. Yeah. Both guys, unfortunately, have severe injuries. Pepe got injured in the game against Charlotte, and Alonso got injured in the second game with the national team. I won't go into any details, but it looks like it's two injuries that occurred from playing on turf, unfortunately. So, but the bottom line is we'll be missing them for quite a while. So they're not available for this important game for us. That's about it.
So how, obviously it changes a lot for your team and how you play, plus you're missing Aiden O'Neill. So for this game in Philadelphia, I know I'm not going to get a lot of strategy talk, but how does this affect you and how do you overcome this?
Well, anybody that is not available for our team to play the match that is upcoming is going to affect the details in the qualities that the individual can bring to the game. These guys have been playing a lot of games, but like in any game when somebody's not available, somebody else steps up and plays the game, and that's what we've been about all season. So no changes in approach from that angle.
Thank you.
Question?
Obviously, it's a next man up mentality. You know, is there anyone this week that you've noticed that's really kind of taken the reins and said, "All right, I want to be the guy that fills that spot"?
I would rather turn it around. I haven't seen anybody that wasn't present. Obviously, we had some guys playing for the national teams, and today was the first day that everybody was on pitch that was supposed to be on pitch, so that was a good thing. So apart from Alonso, everybody from international duty came back healthy, and that is always the most important thing once they're on the road with the national team.
Even just that, you mentioned that break. I mean, how much does that disrupt the flow of everything you're trying to do here to go 2 weeks without really getting a chance to work with these guys much than to go into the middle of a critical matchup like that? How do you balance that? How do you deal with that?
Well, we've dealt with it so far because you have no choice. It's just the schedule. We did have an open conversation about it amongst ourselves, staff-wise, but also with the team. When you're in a best-of-3 series against Charlotte, and there's a lot of adrenaline and a lot going on, and especially when you're on the right end of the result, it's always unfortunate when everything goes away instantly and you have to wait another 2 weeks before you have to build that tension again. So I think we found our way in the last 2 weeks in order to stay fresh and build up the tension towards this important game. We have one more session to go. That's tomorrow before we leave, and then we're ready to go again.
We'll go with Sean, followed by Sierra.
Both you and your opposing coach are new into their teams. The first year bump, so to speak, doesn't typically last all season, but both of you, here you are in the second to last game. Do you see any commonality in how the both of you are here with such limited tenure with the teams?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I can only judge from my own perspective. I've been welcomed into this project from day number one. Felt very appreciated, very respected throughout the first season. Saw my team grow. It's something that we talked about quite often throughout the season. And I'm expecting that my opponent has similar thoughts and similar feelings. Won the Supporters' Shield, obviously. Had a great season, and now we're head-to-head in a do-or-die game again. So I'm looking forward to seeing him and his team.
Sierra?
So that leads really nicely into my question, actually. Thank you.
I knew that.
So Esteban and Kayvon and I were talking a lot about how you've changed the culture of the team. And what I want to know is, as head coach, what standards do you set with your behavior and your actions to ensure that you have the kind of team that is successful on and off the pitch?
That's quite a bit to get into, to be honest. But I'm going to tell you this. My approach is based on lead by example. So, from day one, it's not just me, but I made very clear where my standards lie and how I see things. But I made a very clear picture of what it looks like, what I'm looking for, and then gave everybody a chance to let that sink in, and then determine for yourself how you're going to behave in that spectrum with me and the rest of the staff, making sure that we follow up on things. But like I said, if you want to get into detail, we'll have to have a different conversation, because that's quite a bit.
Well, I guess I'm just curious about, like, what are you looking for? Are you looking for guys who are, they're really focusing on positive mindset or on training, or what specifically are you asking of the team?
Yeah, but that's what I said. It's not like 1, 2, or 3 things.
Right.
It's multiple things. Behavior obviously is a big part of it. My background is from Europe, so I also have to be aware of the fact that how things are being done in the US is something that they're familiar with also. But I have a very clear vision and a very clear perspective in how I think we can grow into the next level, and from that again into the next level again. So like I said, I have painted that picture from day one and made it very clear why I wanted to go into in that direction, and what I expect from my dressing room. And until now, I've been very pleasantly surprised by everybody, because the growth of the team in several areas has been outstanding. But still a long way to go, because we can't be satisfied yet.
Thank you.
When you look, playing Philadelphia a couple times now, you split the season series, there's a familiarity with that. When it comes to playing Philadelphia, what in particular about their game makes them such a tough team to play against, and what is going to be the biggest thing for you guys to try and contain that?
Well, obviously they've been very successful this season with the Supporters' Shield that they won, so the confidence level will be very high. We're one of the few teams that have beat them in the regular season. This was the game in New York. It was a very close game in Philadelphia. Typical, I would say, is they're very comfortable in chaotic situations. So for us, it's very important to, like we did in game number 2 in Philadelphia, that we dominate the ball, making sure that we create calmness within the chaos is what I've spoken about with my guys. So that will be key for us in order to make sure that we control a good rhythm of play, make sure that we keep the margins very, very, very small. Because like that game in Philadelphia and the game in New York, for that matter, we're decided on small details, which also tells us there's 2 competitive teams with similarities in several areas, but yeah, like I said, the margins are very small.
And I understand focus is on the playoffs right now, but there's a couple of reports that have come out about the interest about Justin Hack overseas and among other MLS clubs. I know his contract's coming up. I'm curious, just in terms of your vision for the future of the club and his role in it, have you expressed any communication with the front office about where you see him fitting in and kind of making sure he's retained for next year, a couple of years down the line?
Yeah, well, you started off with the question or with the remark that it's all about the playoffs, and that's what it is. So personal interest about individual players or whatever they plan for the next season is irrelevant.
Onto the Zoom, we'll go with George.
Coach, George from the Exchange. I just asked Hannes before about your messages towards, the players that have to fill in for the guys who have, been down with the injury, the next up mentality. Can you tell me a little bit from your end, training-wise, how everything's been and everybody's been getting on for this game? And then my second question is a message to the fans who are traveling down to Philly for you guys for this important matchup.
Well, first of all, towards the fans, we all appreciate it very much that you're going to travel out to see us play in Philadelphia. And the one thing I would like to say is I hope after 90, 95 minutes or so that you're happy to see us play and that we got the result that we're looking for and make you happy to have the long trip back home again. The other part, with the players that are not available and how do we address that? We worked our way through the past 2 weeks with some guys not being available because of national team duties, but the majority was here, so the focus was on a few details, a few things that I find very important going into this match with the players that were present, and those things got addressed for the past 2 weeks. Today was the day that everybody was on pitch again, so we could address a few more details and make sure that we're fully ready to go into this game.
Michael?
Pascal, it's Mike Andrew from Blue City Radio.
Hi, Michael.
Given the injuries, where do you think it's going to affect, or how do you think it's going to affect where you guys try to play with the ball on the field?
Interesting. If you see the guys that are not available, it's in the spine of the team. We have Pepe and Aiden, who have played a major part in midfield. Tico is quite obvious, our top goal scorer. 3 key figures that are not available. But like I said, the other 3 players that are going to play are going to step up and play their game. And that is something that our team is about, has been about all season. When somebody is not available, the next one steps up and brings his quality to the game. And the rest of the team is aware of the qualities of that individual, and that is going to be the story of Sunday's game.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to today's pre-match press conference ahead of our game against the Philadelphia Union in the Audi 2025 MLS Cup Playoffs Eastern Conference semifinals. We have midfielder Hannes Wolf. If we have any questions, please raise your hand. We'll get started with Roberto.
Hi, Hannes. Injuries are part of the game, sadly. And with New York City, what changes for the team in general and for you in particular, the fact that Alonso Martinez isn't going to be part of this forward line?
Yeah, I mean, of course, like you mentioned, injuries are always tough. Of course, you want to have all your strong players on the field. But I think, we played also this season some games without Alonso, and we did well in these games too. And now other players have to step up, and because it's a big game, so everybody will be full of power, full of energy, and we need to compensate. But I think we have a strong squad to do that.
What does it mean for you when you say you need to compensate? What do you particularly have to do to try to make up for the loss?
I mean, obviously, I think the game is changing a little bit without Alonso because we don't have his pace up front. So we need to find other solutions. Also for myself, maybe playing a little bit in different spaces. But let's see how the game is going, what Philly does. But yeah, as I said, we need to figure out a way to play without Alonso.
Glenn?
Playing in Philadelphia, in that stadium, so you've experienced that a couple of times now, including recently. What's that like, just in terms of that road atmosphere? And it seems like if you go back to the most recent game, good first half, things could have changed, so I would think the team feels good about going back there and not intimidated by the presence of Subaru Park.
Yeah, for sure. I like to play there. It's a nice stadium, nice atmosphere in general. The field is pretty fast, so what is good for us because we want to play with the ball a lot. We want to play fast. And I think, as you mentioned, in Philadelphia, the last game, we should have been up 2-0 first half, and then I think we would have won this game. So, yeah, we have a lot of confidence because the last time I think we were the better team, and we want to show that again.
Do you have another free kick goal in you?
I mean, I'm trying to. Probably not like that 1 year ago, but we have some players who can score free kicks, so let's see.
Sean?
You're coming up against a team that did very well throughout the season. They won a Supporters' Shield. Typically, that doesn't work out too well as far as getting to the final, much just winning the title. Do you feel that gives you any sort of an advantage And also, as to the game, you had mentioned earlier, you expected, with the field being fast, that would benefit your team. What sort of a game do you foresee? Do you foresee a lot of a running game, a technical game, a physical game?
Yeah, I think for sure a fast game. As you mentioned, they got first in the table this year, but in the playoffs everything can happen. I think it's one game, everything is possible. Yeah, and we expect like a fast game, obviously with a lot of duels, a lot of second balls we need to win, and then we just need to be clinical and score our chances and defend well like we probably did in the most games this season, and then I think we have a good chance to come through this round again.
So you're deep into playoffs. There's a lot of stress. You guys are traveling around. How do you maintain a strong culture as a team and keep your focus?
I don't think it's that difficult, to be honest, because like you work all year to come to this point. The only thing what's maybe a little bit tough in the MLS is like the breaks you have in like the most important part of the season, because we didn't play for 2 weeks. Philadelphia didn't play for 3 weeks now, and you always need to find like ways to keep your rhythm and keep training, but also have like some off days. But our group is great. Maybe the best group of guys I ever came along in my career. So we have a great mentality, great guys, and we just want to go to the finals, and it's not much you need for that besides like staying together and like work together.
And do you think that comes from your coach encouraging you guys? Do you think there's things he's implemented to make you this, like you said, a great group of guys, very cohesive, so you can keep that mindset?
Yeah, the coach does a great job. What he does is like, in my eyes, like he has a good balance between giving us like some freedom when we don't have games, to rest and like to have some fun in training too, but also like put on the, how you say that, put on the heat a little bit when it comes to the games. So he does a great job, but we have also some experienced players who do very well in this scenario. Yeah.
Thank you.
Roberto?
One more of you, Hannes. What can you attribute the success the team has had on the road this year? Towards the latter part of the season, the team won several games in a row, and then in the playoffs, you wound up winning your 2 road games, losing at home. So why has the team been as successful on the road, and how much confidence does that give you going into February?
That's a good question. I think because maybe on the road we maybe know a little bit. We need like everybody needs a little bit more. We don't have this confidence of home advantage and stuff. So yeah, maybe we are prepared a little bit better. I don't know. But I know the team doesn't mind really like playing away. That changed to last season because we had a hard time last season playing away sometimes. So we don't really. Of course, it would be nice to play in front of our fans at playoff semifinals, but we don't mind going there full of confidence. And like you mentioned, we did great this season so far away. We did very good in Charlotte away. So why not now again?
Go ahead, Sarah.
So you're representing New York City, right? Do you feel that you bring the New York City energy when you travel to these different places to play?
I think so, yeah. I mean, of course, it's like New York is a big name. You come from the big city, and yeah, we want to do that. We try to do that, and I think we have a good behavior, and we show like maybe some city vibe too. Yeah.
Yeah. What does that look like for you?
I mean, we have great-looking guys, you know. Now we have good-looking guys. We have funny guys, and yeah, I think we show a good confidence, but not in an arrogant way. Yeah.
You just stand up straighter because you're coming from New York City.
Maybe, yeah.
On to the Zoom, we'll go with Michael Ander.
Hi, this is Mike Ander from Blue City Radio. Thanks for the time. Philadelphia likes to play a very fast-paced game. Some people would use the term chaotic. Do you think your approach is going to be to match their intensity or to try to calm that down and take that energy away from them?
I think both, to be honest. Of course, you need to match the intensity, because if not, as I said before, you need to pick up second balls. If not, you can get in dangerous situations. But you can also take their energy away if you are very good at the ball and if you keep possession. And that's what we try to do. And just keep calm on the ball and, of course, match their intensity against the ball.
George?
Hannes, thanks so much, man. George, for the exchange. I want to know what it's more like, the message from Pascal with the injuries that have had on your guys and your next up mentality. For the people that have to step up for them, I want to know what his message is to you guys on a daily basis, because everybody kind of knows what's happening. And then maybe a message from you to the fans who are getting ready to travel to Philly to be there with you guys for this game. Thank you.
I have to say the coach didn't mention it too much, because obviously we all see that we miss three key players, if you count Aiden, who's suspended. But we will not fall into victim mentality about this. And like I said, we can all see that, but we know we played already games with important players missing this season, and we did good in these games. So that's the goal now, and I don't think there's any extra thing he needs to say to us, because it's like, as I said, the semi-finals, so everybody will be ready. And the message to our fans is just, I hope many of you guys come and get ready to come to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Scott?
Hey, Hannes, how are you? It's Scott Church from Streampunk Soccer. This question is more based on a player level specifically. It's been 2 weeks between matches for you. For Philly, by and large, it's been 3 weeks overall. As a player, how do you adapt to having that kind of a long layoff? And do you feel that Philly having a 3-week layoff could be a benefit on your side? Thanks.
Yeah, I have to say that's not so easy for us, because you're in the most important part of the season. We are playing now for 10 months. So you just want to keep the rhythm, and you stand in front of an important game, and would love to play that 3 games after the game before. But I think there is no advantage really. You always need to see who's keeping the rhythm better in the end. I think you cannot say because they had a 3-week break and we just 2 weeks that we have advantage. So it will come down to who comes into the game better and who wants it more in the end.
George?
Hannes, last year around this time I asked you about the on and off breaks, the excessive travel that the MLS kind of brings along. And you told me that at times it was a little tough last season. This season, have you accumulated or changed to everything that is now a part of the MLS, now that you kind of know what it's about?
I would say better, yeah. I mean, to be honest, sometimes the breaks are still brutal. But from last year I know, for example, moments where I need somebody to come over. For example, my family, my dad was here until yesterday, because we know that last year this was a tough period with no games and you don't train so much, so you don't really know what to do with your time because you just wait for the games. So I have a better way now for that, and I feel in general better to how you say that. I feel more comfortable this season in the league and with the schedule. Yeah.
Anyone else? Great. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Recording stopped.